Hello everyone! Today we're going to jump right into a TBC Druid guide. Druids are pretty well rounded in TBC, being quick levelers, doing well in PvE as restoration, and they're nearly un-gankable in World PvP at level 68 when you get Flight Form. They are also top tier in Arena and Battlegrounds. That being said, we're going to jump into explaining Druid's strengths, the first one being that fast leveling speed. That's pretty fast. Up next, we're going to talk about low gear dependence. Next up, great CC options. And instant cast Flight Form. And finishing off with the fact that they can tank DPS or heal. Some of their weaknesses are slow leveling from levels 1 to 10 because they have no bear form to shift out and, get their mana back. Feral and balanced DPS endgame is a bit lacking compared to other classes and specializations, and they have no regular res, they can only battle res. Alright, so what actually changed from Classic to TBC for Druid? So let's start with the talents. First, they renamed a bunch of talents from Improved XYZ to some clever, unique name. I'm not going to read them all off to you, but here's the list. Let's go through the talent trees one by one, starting with the balance tree. So first off the bat, Natural Weapons is gone from balance and it is now baked into the Resto tree under the Naturalist Talent. Omen of Clarity and Natural Shapeshifter were both moved over to the Resto tree as well. Insect Swarm was added to the balance tree, as well as Lunar Guidance, Balance of Power, Improved Fairy Fire, Wrath of Cenarius, and Force of Nature. Moving on to the Feral tree, Feral Instinct and Thick Hide both went from a 5-point talent to 3-point talents, which makes them better. Primal Fury and Blood Fury were combined into a single 2-point talent called Primal Fury, which is a buff. And Heart of the Wild increases attack power instead of strength in cat form. That's nice. Leader of the Pack crit bonus increased from 3 to 5%, and Improved Leader of the Pack was added, granting critical strikes a 4% total health heal when 2 points are put into it. The talents that were added to Druid and Burning Crusade are Nurturing Instinct, Primal Tenacity, Survival Instincts, Predatory Instincts, and Mangle. Overall, lots of nice buffs from Classic WoW. Alright, I hope you guys are still with me. We're on the last one, Resto Tree. So Improved Enrage is gone, Improved Healing Touch has become Naturalist and includes the damage bonus from Natural Weapons. Insect Swarm is moved to Balance from Resto, and Natural Shapeshifter was moved from Balance to Resto. If that makes sense. Along with Omen of Clarity. Subtlety now also reduces the chance your spells will be dispelled by 6% each point, in addition to the threat reduction. And the following talents were added to the Resto tree: Empowered Touch, Living Spirit, Natural Perfection, Empowered Rejuvenation, and Tree of Life. Alright, so what is the best leveling spec for Druids? We're going to start out in the Feral tree with 5 points into Ferocity. Then we're going to move over to Feral Instinct, put 3 points into that, 2 points into Thick Hide, and then 2 points into Feral Swiftness. Now this is the talent that really increases Druid level speed because it's going to increase your movement speed by 30% while outdoors in cat form. And that's basically going to be what you get at level 20, and essentially you're now moving at 30% increased move speed pretty much 80 to 90% of the time, including when you're fighting mobs. It's a fantastic talent. It's going to really help your leveling speed. Once you get that talent, you're going to want to go over to the Resto tree, get Fur. It's going to give you a 100% chance to gain Rage and Energy when you shapeshift. Then I like to put 5 points into Naturalist, and the reason for that is because it also increases the damage you deal with physical attacks in all forms by 10%. So it's a flat 10% physical damage bonus. It's fantastic. Some more mana efficiency spells. We're going to get talent. We're going to get the Natural Shapeshifter talent. It's going to reduce your mana cost of all shapeshifting by 30%. You guys are going to need these talents that I'm going through. These are the ones to get. Omen of Clarity, that's going to give you clear casting, and that's going to help with your resource management, okay? Next up is your Sharpened Claws talent. You're going to put 3 points into that. Gets you down to Primal Fury, so now you're going to 100% chance to get extra combo points and extra rage upon crits. Predatory Strikes, 3 points, and then you unlock Fairy Fire, another really big talent that's going to increase your kill speed and your leveling speed, essentially. Now you're going to put 2 points into Savage Fury, and in order to progress, you're going to have to go back up. 1 point in Feral Charge, 1 point into Brutal Impact. I think these two aren't that great, but we need to continue down the tree. This is good for PvP. I know that. Heart of the Wild. We're going to go ahead and put 5 points into Heart of the Wild. Unlocking Leader of the Pack, 1 point there. 2 points into Improved Leader of the Pack. 1 point, 2 points into Survival of the Fittest. That's going to increase all attributes by 2% and reduce your chance to get critically hit by melee attacks. It's going to be nice. It's going to help your sustain. 5 points into Predatory Instincts. That is going to increase your damage from melee critical strikes by 10%, and you're going to avoid AoE effects by 15. Unlocking Mangle. Mangle's a great ability. It's going to increase the damage of your bleeds on the target. It's a good talent to get. From there, you can... I would get Survival of the Fittest, max that one out, and then finally moving over to the Balance Tree, grabbing Nature's Grasp, and then improve Nature's Grasp. Alright, so this is your cookie cutter bear tank spec. The link to this is in the description below. It has all of your threat generation and damage mitigation talents, and then this is your bear tank stat priority. In a nutshell, you're going to want to cap your defense rating and armor first, then stack lots of stamina. And then this next part is about notable gear for bear tanking. First up, you're going to want to try and grab Earthward, and that's a great weapon for tanking. You're going to want Idol of Terror, Badge of Tenacity, and the entire Cleft Hoof set is a really great starter set for bear tanks. Take note, though, that the set bonus requires leatherworking, which you should actually get because you can also make war drums. Alright guys, when it comes to your debuffs, the order of priority of which debuffs you should always keep up are basically from left to right. You're going to want Demoralizing Roar, Lacerate, Mangle, and Fury Fire. I'm not saying this is the order in which you should cast them, but if you're seeing some of them start to wear off, you're going to want to get them back in this order. Lacerate, you're going to want to have that at 5 stacks. Demoralizing Roar, you're going to want that up. It's going to reduce that melee attack power. Mangle for the bleed effects of your raid, less priority, and then Fairy Fire for that armor reduction. Up next is a cookie cutter Resto build. This build relies on heals over time instead of healing touch, and is going to be more mana efficient than other builds. However, you'll be doing more overhealing in this build than, say, a Dream State Druid healer. Next, we're going to talk about Resto Druid stat priority, and at the top of that list is plus healing done by spells and effects, then Spirit, then NP5, and then last we have Stamina. Each of these 4 are important stats to focus on, in that order. And in our notable gear for Resto Druids are the White Men set and the Primal Mooncloth set. Both these can be made by tailors, but the Primal Mooncloth set can only be made by Mooncloth tailors, and these items are really good. Yes, they are cloth, but they are also pre-raid bis for Druid, and you'll be keeping them for a long time if you craft them. If you don't want to go for those items, however, these are also really great bis items to go for. Some of these require tribal leatherworking to create, the gloves and helm do not, just regular leatherworking, and the mace is a BOE epic made by blacksmiths. So, if you're going to go Resto, might as well go all the way, right? So here are the abbreviations to know when rolling Resto Druid. I'll pause here and let you read these if you want. And then here's the second set of abbreviations for you, and you can also pause again if you want. Alright guys, for this last section I just wanted to do some rapid fire Druid tips, so here we go. So your mana will basically continue to regenerate naturally well in animal forms. If you use a rage or energy using ability, that will not interrupt your mana regeneration per the 5-second rule. It does not interrupt it. I recommend using your Teleport Moonglade spell sort of as a second Hearthstone. Essentially set your Hearthstone to where you're leveling, and then whenever you want to go back and maybe learn some new abilities, put some auctions up, things like that, use Teleport Moonglade for that, and then you can Hearth back to wherever you're leveling. I just wanted to let you guys know that bear form is actually a fantastic form to stay in. I know you want to be in cat all the time doing lots of damage, but bear form is actually, you know, pretty darn good. It really increases your armor contribution from items, and it really increases your survivability. So if you're taking multiple mobs on at a time or you got a tough pull, don't be afraid to use bear form. Something to note, however, is the movement speed bonus from being in cat form from that feral talent. That's only outdoors, and some other things about being outdoors with Druids is that Entangling Roots and Travel Form are also only usable outdoors. Another bonus to keep in mind is that when you have 5 out of 5 fur, it will allow you to swap into bear form and immediately have enough rage to use Feral Charge. So that's only when you have 5 out of 5 fur, and using the talent order that I recommended for leveling. It's not going to happen till maybe around level 40 or 50, but that's something to keep in mind as you go along, that you can just pop into bear and immediately charge to interrupt something really quick. Shifting into a form does count as a spell, so you will lose your mana per 5, or it'll break the 5-second rule if you shift into a form. However, if you shift out of a form, that will not count as a spell. So these are some of the tips I wanted to let you guys know. Just rapid fire, wrapping up this guide. I hope you guys really enjoyed this guide. It definitely took me quite a bit of time to put together. If you made it all the way through, I'm super impressed. There was a lot of information here, so you may have to go back and catch something. I'd love to hear your opinions on this. Again, all of this is just my opinion. I try to say that in every video. I'm sorry if, maybe the thing or two there I said was wrong, or I said the wrong thing. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this guide, and more are coming in the future. This is all about TBC guides. If you guys liked this video, please go ahead, give it a like. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike. And if you guys want to see more guides, make sure to subscribe so that you do not miss when the next guide is released. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video.